My name is Micaiah Johnson. I'm the owner of Mind Over Culture, and I am here with the wonderful Dr. Sabrina. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here, having us here, and doing this with us. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Absolutely. I am Dr. Sabrina Jackson, and I'm known as the people expert. And people call me that because I help people with people, even if that person is themselves. Because I say all the time, we think it's somebody else with the problem, and it's really us standing in the need of some help. And so I am a psychologist by trade with over 35 years of experience post-graduate school. The years have been kind, I'm just saying. I do Mental Health Mondays on Fox 2 every Monday. I've been in 14 movies. I travel the world speaking and training. I'm the proud mama of Marcel Smith and now Elise Smith, because he's now married. So life is life, and as they say. So I'm an author. I have books.
So many amazing things. So I'm so appreciative for you being here and doing this with us. So our main topic today, of course, is mental health in the Black community.
Okay.
Mind Over Culture is a nonprofit organization that promotes mental health in the Black community by funding therapy sessions for African Americans. So what we'll do with this podcast, we'll use this to just spread awareness and just get some therapy and get people talking. That's the main thing that we like to do.
This is so apropos that you're doing it in July, because July is National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. So that's what I talked about this past Monday on Fox 2. So the unique struggles and challenges for people of color, there are some unique things for them. And so there's some unique things that we should do as far as strategies, as far as dealing with the Black community especially.
Yeah, because it's a lot. It's a lot different, and there's a lot of things that we need to specifically cater to because of our culture and because of the way that we look. So our first question is, how is mental health perceived in the Black community?
Most people think if you use the word mental, that means you're saying that they're crazy. That is the greatest stigma. It's when I look back on when I was a kid growing up, and if it was someone that had a mental challenge, they would keep them away from the family. They would have them in a room. They would tell you, don't go back there. Don't go talk to them. You know, they having a spell. Oh my goodness, was that the word? They having a spell. But we weren't really educated on when a person was having a mental challenge and what that meant and what that looked like. We were almost spooked by it because it was made to seem like that's don't go. He might hurt you. You don't know what's going to go happen, and that's because of a lack of education.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so, how does Black culture influence individuals' experiences with therapy?
Well, first, most Black folk are told what goes on in our house stays in our house. Right. That is just a foundational belief. So for you to go outside of the home and tell someone your issues, your problems, your concerns, what's going on with you, that was seen as almost like you a snitch.
Right.
And so to change that mindset that when you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay. But it's not okay to not be okay and not do something about it. And a lot of times, I hate to say this part, but a lot of times, especially in the Black community, we'll just turn to our pastors or to church and we'll say that, well, Jesus will fix it. And Jesus can fix it. But Jesus can fix it through a therapist.
Amen.
Because I tell people all the time, you can't have Jesus and a Dr. Sabrina.
Amen.
Because the things that I do, I know that that's what I'm gifted to do. That's my anointing to do. And so, of course, I pray for every client that I ever work with. And, of course, I know the word. I cover myself in that. But the clinical side of me is what I've been trained in. And so being able to teach that, being able to normalize it, I think is really important that we begin to normalize talking, getting help, doing things outside of your immediate circle.
And so Mind Over Culture is built off of James 2:26, which is faith without works is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I completely agree and believe in you need both, because you can have the faith and believe God will heal you from the situation, believe God will calm your mind, but if you're not putting in any works, that faith is dead. It's literally biblical.
And you may not know what the work is. You may not know. That's why it's important to have people who are trained that can see things differently, that can help you out. I remember because I was 10 when I decided that I wanted to do this type of work, because I saw the movie Sybil. Mm-hmm. And you're a baby, you don't know nothing about Sybil. But Sybil was in the 70s. In fact, it was 1976. Mm-hmm. And Sally Fields, that's what she got a Academy Award for. Mm. She played a multiple personality. Mm. And in this movie, the therapist was fascinating to me, because the therapist could talk to her and say, no, I don't want to talk to her. Go get that one. Mm. And like her whole countenance would change. Mm. And the therapist she ain't miss a beat. She was just like, okay, go get that one. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that. And so that's what got me on the road to doing this type of work. But I remember I was 10 or 11, my pastor was also my godfather, and my pastor was up preaching one Sunday. And he says, y'all out here running around getting therapists and psychiatrists. Y'all don't need that. Y'all just need Jesus. And it devastated me. Mm-hmm. And it devastated me because someone that I loved and admired and looked up to just said that what I want to be, people don't need. So I was always a precocious child. So I ran up to his office and I said, you hurt my feelings today. And he said, what'd I do? You told people that they didn't need what I wanted to be. And he never said that from the pulpit again, ever. And he became one of my biggest supporters and cheerleaders to make sure that I got to school and did what I did. But sometimes people do a thing because it's just what you do in that space. Yeah. And so you have to understand that there are people listening to you that may really need that. Mm-hmm. And so I know that in the Christian community, especially Black churches, we've seen a lot more information about mental wellness, because I've been invited to several churches to do their mental wellness day, to talk about how to stay mentally well, because I think sometimes we talk about mental illness, but we don't talk about mental wellness. So I had someone ask me once, you've told me all the things to identify when things aren't going well, but how do I identify when things are going well? So then I talked about 7 tips to stay and remain mentally well. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and what would you say to people, a lot of Christians who say, like, I'm just not doing that. Like, all I need is God. All you need is prayer. You don't need a therapist. What do you say to those Christians?
Well, one of the things that I say to people, just to people, period, and so if you're Christian, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But I asked you to look at your life today. Mm-hmm. Do you like it? And when people say no, are you willing to do something different to change it? Because whatever you're doing up until this point still has you in the same position. Mm-hmm. If you want something you currently don't have, you have to be open to do something you're currently not doing. So if you're currently praying, mm-hmm. and you still feel the same, there's something God is pushing you to do in addition.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Thank you. All right, so just switching over a little bit, mm-hmm. how has systematic racism affected mental health in the Black community, including like microaggressions and things like that, and biases?
Well, the first thing is that it's a major trigger. Mm-hmm. So when we look at the African American in this country, the history and the legacy of Jim Crow and slavery and lynching, and so when things happen, when you hear a story of like Emmett Till, mm-hmm. and then you are a young Black man and you see a white woman walk by, just that thing, you may tense up because you don't want her to turn and look at you and say, well, you. Mm-hmm. So it's things like that that keep you on hyper alert, mm-hmm. and that hyper alert can cause you to be anxious, that cause you to be depressed. And so the things and the emotions, and then you may not know how to deal with them because No one taught you how. And then if you come from a line of people that they felt the same way and did not have the tools to do anything, the number one way that we learn a social or behavioral skill is by modeling. Is we do what we see, not what we hear. And so we have to make sure that we're changing and shifting our models. But it's hard because many of us have intergenerational trauma. And so with intergenerational trauma, people don't know this, but DNA has a memory. So if my great great grandfather was a slave and was beaten, so the trauma that's in his DNA is transferred to his seed.
Ooh, that's good. I did not know that.
Yes, that's a fact.
Wow.
So sometimes things will trigger you and you really don't even know why. Because it's in you. So just like people who've been oppressed have it in their DNA, oh, come on, Jesus. The people who have been the oppressor have it in their DNA.
Ooh,
So we wonder why things in our country is the way that it is, because people who have been entitled forever still feel entitled. And the thing about power, you don't want to give up power when you got it. You'll fight to tooth and nail to keep your power.
Woo, that was good. I don't even want to move on from that one. That was so good. Okay, so we're going back to a little bit back to childhood trauma. So how have and this is a little bit about like mixing in with the generational trauma and everything. How has childhood trauma impacted the Black community as a whole?
Well, as a whole, many children have adverse childhood experiences. That's a whole thing, the ACE system. So when you're doing, and you're a therapist, and if you're working with young children or anybody, you can do an assessment to see how those adverse childhood experiences has impacted you. Some of the things that Black people have just had to deal with in our country, our kids had to deal with them. So the trauma that children have had, and what's sad sometimes is that as a child, you may have gone through a trauma. You grow up, you get a job, you go on, and so you think you okay. And so then when your children come and they are experiencing similar traumas, you'll go, well, they don't need no help. I didn't need no help.
Right.
I'm straight. I got a job. I'm good. But sometimes you're not. And so sometimes it'll show up in other places. Sometimes it'll show up in your relationships with your spouse or your significant other. Sometimes it'll show up with your neighbor, and the neighbor don't look like you, so now you're looking at them sideways. And so I always say that it's important that we assess ourselves and that we're true and honest with ourselves about how we feel and what, because when we think about mental health, our mental health has three components to it. It's what we think, it's what we feel in our emotions, and it's our behavior. And so all those things go together, because I always say what we think is what we speak is what we create. So if you think a thing and it's all negative, then what you say gonna be negative, and words have power. So you just gonna say negative things all day, every day, and because that's what your mama said, and that's what your grandmama said. Even like as women, and women may say to other women, "Girl, all men are dogs." All men not dogs.
Why you say that?
All men are not dogs.
Why did you even feel the need to say that?
So and then you hear, because women will put that down into our children. We'll say things to our children, like if you. In our Black community, the Black family is dwindling down to nothing. We're at like 34% of Black families are married, whereas with Asian families, 94%. And so, and when, there's an equation that is matched between if you're married and your wealth. So how much money your household has is connected to if you're married. People who are married have more money. It's just no other way to put it. But it makes sense because that's how God designed it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to do something, and not necessarily on your own, you might not wake up and go, I don't ever want to have a significant other.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that you've been through will get you away from yoking up with someone
Mm-hmm.
because you know, he ain't got no money.
Right.
But as women, we're created to multiply what's put in our hands.
Yeah.
So if you get a man
Mm-hmm.
and he a good man, he's gonna automatically be a better man
With you.
with you.
Amen.
So my son just got married, and I told them at their engagement that I gave him life, and he's had a pretty good life. He really has. He has a pretty good life. I said, but what I'm so excited about is he's getting ready to walk through a door that I could never open for him.
Mm-hmm.
The door is the door of favor.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, life's been good for you, but life's been a blow favor on your life like no other. The thing that she brings to you, I couldn't give to you. She gives you favor. I gave you life. So his life has been incredible since he's married her. I just see, and I love them together. I love that they do life together. I love that they flirt so I just love it.
Yeah.
I do.
I love that. And it's breaking the stigma of Black single mothers and Black men don't want to get married or they don't want to be in their child's lives. We're breaking that stigma.
We have to, because it's not true. And I know so many Black men I know Black men who are taking care of their kids by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I know Black men who looking for a good woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then the women be like, I don't want no. Okay, so
Right.
you know, we got to change all of that.
Right.
But you have to have examples,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have to. Because I ask, even when I do relationship stuff with couples, I'll ask them, when you look in the media, in movies or whatever, what is your favorite love story? What's your favorite love story?
I don't know. There's so many.
Can't be interviewing me
I
and not
know.
have the answers to the
I know.
questions. I'm just saying.
I'm like, what is my favorite love story? I don't know my favorite love movie.
Or like your favorite couple, either on TV or movies.
Oh, that is a good question. I don't know. Me and my man are my favorite love story.
I love that. How he laughing.
Right. I do, but I love our relationship. I just love how easy it is. We flirt. We still we put God first in everything that we do. And people, when they're around us, they're like, I just love you guys' energy. I love that how educated, even though we've been together for 2 years, but it seems like a lifetime. And people are like asking us for advice and things like that. It's like, I think it's just because of how mature we are mentally and how mature we are in our relationship and how mature we are putting faith first. So, but that's been really
my
good.
favorite love story ain't even a love story. It was they were gangsters.
Oh.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, wow.
I love Bonnie and Clyde. I love Bonnie and Clyde because they were ride or die.
Okay.
For each other. And when he said that I'm about to go ride, I'm about to go, so you got to stay here, I'll be back. He said, she said, oh no. If you going, I'm going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So where you go, I'm going. And then when he wasn't plotting and planning to rob the people, he knew she liked poetry.
Yeah.
So he would read poetry to her. They would be laying in the field, and he would have the book, and she would had her head in his lap. It was so tender, even though he was a gangster. He was tender with her. So I feel like the person who's your person should be able to be vulnerable with you. And a lot of times within our community, male and female, we don't want to be vulnerable. Oh, no, I don't want to hurt. I want the possibility of you hurting me. But in order to have true love, you have to have vulnerability.
Yeah. Thank you. That was good. So a little bit tying in from the childhood trauma into religion, a lot of times we say things in our community like, well, I was beaten, I turned out fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's all this trauma about how you get angry and you want to be physical.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I beat my child so
Mm-hmm.
he cannot go to jail. But then now your kid is in jail because they don't know how to process their emotions. So they're getting angry and they beating on people.
Okay, so let me say this, because I need to be very clear. I am a believer in a whooping. I do. I believe in a whooping. I do, because I whoop my son. But what I say that's different, I didn't beat my son.
Mm-hmm.
If he did something and that was the consequence for what he did, I would whoop him, feed him, send him to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been on panels with other psychiatrists and things of that nature, and they'll say, well, you know, violence begets violence, but it really does not. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't. One, because my son never saw himself as my equal. That's the first thing. The second thing, he never saw me do to any of my peers what I did to him. He understood that what I did with him was between a child and a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent, I have to do what I think and deem is necessary to create the best him I could. And I've done that. Mm-hmm. He's an amazing young man. Mm-hmm. And he's never been violent. He's never been violent because he's never seen me be violent with my spouse, with my brothers, you know, just nobody. But that unique relationship between a parent and a child is very unique. And then the other thing, because I did say the same thing, it amazes me that you tell me I can't put my hands on him. But if he gets out of line out there, you gonna put your hands on him. And when you put your hands on him, you put your hands on him to hurt him or kill him.
Right.
I put my hands on him to correct him and direct them and still love them. So I do believe in it.
Yeah.
I do. And he believes in it because we saw just in our family that it wasn't done to be abusive. Right. Or like because I was a single mother and I have a cousin who I just say he's a big black man. That's what I call him, the big black man. And when my son became a teenager, started giving me some problems, I would call my cousin. My cousin would leave his job, come to my house, tighten him up, and go back to work. And to this day, my son is 32 now. My son loves him because he knows that he loved him. And so now my son is, you know, doing well in life. And so this last season, when the Lions were doing really well, he got a suite. He sent for his uncle, the big black man, and took them and just treated them. And I am amazed that even though during the times when he was giving me the trouble, those were the people who got on his head, but he also has such a great relationship with them now. And it's not, they just men together. And they can talk to each other now. But he has such respect for them because he knew, looking back, that they loved him enough to correct him. Not to let him just be out there and do whatever you want to do. No, we weren't doing that over here.
Yeah. So what would you say to people who think that those childhood disciplines that because it could be just a whooping, but there are children who may have gone through actual abuse because their parents take it too far.
Yeah, because that has to do with a person's control. So like even when I talk and counsel parents, one of the things that I say, if you do need to discipline, never discipline out of anger.
Yep.
So soon as you know you angry, step back. So even with my father wouldn't, I remember, and we hated this, but my father would go, oh, you did such and such in school today? I'm going to whoop you today. And today seemed like it lasted forever because we would be like, okay, we just going to do it. You just going to get it done? He'll take us to the park, let us play, and we'd be like, is it going to happen now? What is going to happen? We can't even play and have fun. It was torture. Then we get home and he give us ice cream. Like, okay, he giving us ice cream. Oh, Lord. And as soon as we about to go to bed, okay, come on in here. Be like, ah! But he was always calm. He was always cool. He was never, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just remember that. And so even with my son, if I was angry,
yeah,
get away from me.
Yeah.
Cause I hurt you if I put my hands on you, not gonna hurt you. So just go on in your room, go on. And so I can really count on one hand how many times that I had to or chose to whoop him. It was always more of taking things away, and but we had in our home, even at a very young age, these were the rules and these were the consequences. So you know ahead. So if you choose to do it, let's go. Because you were sitting there when we decided these were the rules and these were the consequences.
And kids need structure, especially
they
this
have
upcoming generation. Oh my goodness. They need so much structure. I work downtown at a charter school, and it's just such a huge difference between the fear of me fearing my mama, and they'll be like, oh, my mama, I don't care. And the mama doesn't even show up to the school. So it's just like, what do you think that will show and impact in adulthood for those kids who even have a lack of discipline?
Well, the thing about how people behave, it goes at its core to bonding. Who you're bonded with is who impacts and influences you. And so a lot of children have attachment disorder because they're not bonded with their caregiver. And so when you don't have bonding, you lack a conscience. So you can do whatever. So those are the struggles that we see with our young people because they haven't bonded. Bonding is necessary. It's a part of a process that God created that people need, human needs, to see the humanity in someone else. But when you don't see the humanity in someone else, you could do whatever. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of that.
All right, back on the questions. We ran it a little off, but I love it. I just love the open conversation. All right, so we're gonna hop to specifically standards for Black women and Black men. How have beauty standards affected Black women's mental health?
Well, I think that the standard for beauty in our country is Barbie. So when you think about the Barbie doll, she had the little hourglass figure. She had the perky breast and the long blonde hair. And so a lot of people feel like if you don't have that type of body type, then you're not beautiful. And there's so many things in our culture that have led to people looking at themselves and seeing things not beautiful. I know for me, being a darker hued woman, when I was growing up, I didn't like being dark skinned. I didn't like it because to me, in the 60s and 70s, being dark skinned wasn't in. Everybody was liking the light skinned girls. And so, heck, I remember I wanted to be like them. I remember that. And so for a long time, I did not like it. And I would, kind of put my head down, because people would say negative things, midnight black, the creature from the Black Lagoon, all of that. And until I went to high school. When I went to high school, I went to Cass. And I was a freshman, and I saw a guy that I thought was the finest man that I had ever seen. Oh my God, his name was Stan. Can I just say Stan was the man? And Stan, I thought, would never say anything to me. One, because I was dark. And two, because he was a senior and I was a freshman. And one day I'm standing at my locker, and he comes and stands in front of me and looks down at me because he was tall. And he says, "Hey, dark and lovely." What? That became my mantra. I had dark and lovely going down the side of my jeans. I had it on hats and t-shirts. I really began to embrace the skin that I'm in. So now I tell men, you can't handle all this chocolate. I'll put you in the diabetic coma. What? So I absolutely adore me.
Yeah.
I love my skin color. I love my gray hair. I love my natural hair. I began to have a love affair with me. And other people Don't have to like it.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if someone says something derogatory or negative to me about anything about me,
Mm-hmm.
you have a right to that opinion, sweetie.
Yeah.
You do. I've had people write me from seeing me on TV and saying, "What is that on your head? It looks like a used mop." And I said, "Oh my God, thank you so much for the question." It is actually called sister locks.
Mm-hmm.
And in the African American community, when my hair grows out of the follicle, it grows in a tight curl.
Mm-hmm.
And in our community, we call that nappy.
Mm-hmm.
And in parentheses, I'll put, and I'm so happy
Mm-hmm.
to be nappy. However, I understand that some people may not like it. Some people may think it's ugly. Some people may think it's downright grotesque. But again, I thank you for the question. Because I ain't ever changing my hair.
Okay.
Because I love it. And I think that we have to get to the point of self-love,
Mm-hmm.
self-care,
Mm-hmm.
setting boundaries, making sure that the voice that sounds and means the most to you is your own. Love you. Be better to you. Be kinder to you. Oftentimes, especially as women, we are kind to everyone. We love on everybody. We do for everybody but ourselves. And then we run ourselves ragged. We're exhausted. We're tired. So no, take time for you. It's okay.
So what other advice would you give to women regarding, Black women regarding beauty standards? Like, how can we get to that point of your confidence of just loving yourself so much that you don't care what other people have to say, or you
I would say spend the time every day looking in the mirror and love you. And just say to yourself every day, at least 10 times, "Oh, I love you." By the time you get to number 10, you've been, "I love you." Oh! But you have to build the foundation of changing those negative messages that have been in your head. Yeah. Like, one of the things that I don't like on me is my arms. I call them the wings, because I've lost a significant amount of weight over some years, and so but I still have big arms. And so I remember I was talking to somebody, and I says, "I just hate my arms." And she says, "Why would you hate your arms? Without your arms, you wouldn't be able to hug." And I went, "I do give incredible hugs." Oh my God, I give great hugs. So it just helped me to shift my thinking. So we have to start reframing the negative thought with a positive thought. So now I say, I give great hugs because of my arms.
Yeah, I love that. Just switching that negative thought into a positive thought. We got to do that with everything. Everything. Yeah.
So even like with women, Black women, sometimes we have fuller lips, we have fuller hips. There's things about our DNA as a Black woman that the majority culture has not embraced, or they thought that it was weird or to put it on display and things of that nature. But I can only be me, and God didn't make no junk. So I love all things Sabrina.
Period. All right, so we're gonna switch a little bit from women to men.
Okay.
So how do financial expectations affect Black men's mental health?
Well, men are taught that they are to be the provider, and if for some reason, and this is huge in our culture right now, women are killing the game with how much money they make. They're killing the game with being in the C-suites and breaking the glass ceiling. They're killing the game at starting businesses. They are. And so it's difficult for a man who is seen as the person that's supposed to be a provider. And I can't do what you do. My finances don't match your finances. So I have a boat. The fact that I have a boat is a luxury item. So that means I take care of all my stuff, and now this is just a want that I have. And it's an expensive want. You got to pay for the well, you got to pay for, you just got to pay for everything. And so now if you meet a guy and he don't have no luxury items, because he's just making it.
Yeah.
he will feel inadequate. He may feel like I ain't gonna be able to keep up with her because what she's able to do, I'm not able to do. But what I often tell people is that finance is only one part of your life. There are 12 major areas to life. Finance is one. So I might not need your finances, but I absolutely need you to be able to stand because I'm 5'2". I need you to get my suitcase out the top of the closet because I can't reach it without a ladder. Okay, I need you to, my tire was low the other day. Can you check my tire and fill my tire up? There are things that make a whole person and a whole relationship, and money is just one part of it. So I always say, it's important. The word tells us how the two walk together unless they agree. So you have to determine what agreement, commitment looks like for the two of you. It can't look like what your parents did. It can't look like what you see on TV. It can't look like your friends. You have to sit with that person and say, what are we going to do to make us work and keep everybody else outside of it? So yeah, I may make more money, but when I make a decision about what I do, I'm going to talk to my significant other because I don't want to make him feel less than, even though he didn't make the money. He can still have a decision on what we do with the money.
Amen. That was good. Thank you. All right, almost to the last questions, but this is so good. I don't even want this to end. So how can we, just like putting it all together, how can we reduce the stigma surrounding mental illness in the Black community?
I think one of the things that's important is that we educate ourselves. The other thing is the normalization. And normalization I've seen recently in a lot of movies. Like if you remember back when they had The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Tony Soprano was a gangster, but had a therapist.
Yeah.
For a long time. Long time. And so that normalized, especially for that culture, if you were that type of person, that, oh, okay, this could possibly work. And moving to today, The Chi.
Yeah.
I'm loving The Chi.
So good.
I'm loving The Chi because I love, about 2 seasons ago, they started doing the men coming together. And they just talk among themselves. And I love that they would always say, how can I help you with that? Oh my God. That is so important because therapy doesn't have to be sitting on the couch with a therapist. It can be in a group. It can be at a church. It could be going to a rage room. It could be so many different things to get your mind right. But I love that we have to normalize it, and that is not, it doesn't mean that you're crazy. I love the movie, it's 2 movies, A Beautiful Mind. Beautiful Mind is one of my favorite movies because I love that they showed how he saw things, and then they pulled the layer back because you thought what was real to him was real until they showed you it wasn't real. But all while he thought it was real, you thought it was real. So how easy is it for us to make an assumption because we don't see it that way? And then the recent movie is Straw.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched it.
Oh my God, Straw.
It's so good.
Okay, so I'm not going to talk about it since you haven't seen it. But there is a very similar thing that goes on in that movie. And I think that it was masterfully done. I just think it was masterfully done. And as a therapist, when I work with, and I was teaching years ago, I would have my students look at those movies because I think it helps you, especially when you're in the space that you're supposed to be helping families. Because I tell family members all the time, because a lot of times family members will get mad at their family member who has a mental illness, but you don't get mad at the family member when they tell you they have cancer. You don't get mad at them. You jump in and see how you can help. But for some reason, when someone is diagnosed as bipolar or depressed, you should pull yourself together. No, it's just like a physical illness is a mental illness, and so we have to treat it with care and concern and not bowel breeding and making a person feel less than.
Yeah.
Love on them too.
Mm-hmm.
They need support too.
And just like we all do, you need it, they need it too.
Absolutely.
All right, and we talked a little bit about what options we can take, but besides therapy, what other wellness strategies should be given more attention? You talked about even watching movies and taking strategies from that, but what other strategies would you recommend?
I love a rage room.
Mm.
A rage room is when you can go to a place and just tear up some stuff. And a lot of times when you're angry, sitting and talking just don't get it. You need to be able to physically move that energy out of you. So whether it's boxing, whether it's running, whether it's going, whether it's something relaxing, because you need to relax the body, getting a massage can absolutely be therapeutic. Going on a shopping day, and let me say this, shopping can be retail therapy, but absolutely have your boundaries and your parameters in place so that you don't wind up in a worse situation than you go in with. So like for me, when you can go shopping, but say that I'm only spending $100. I'm only spending $100. I'm not spending no more. Like this week is Amazon Prime.
I know. I was just about to bring that up.
And so I
delete the app. I'm just gonna delete the app.
No, I can do Amazon Prime, but I make sure that I do the Prime special.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a limit on how much I was gonna spend this week, and I haven't reached the limit yet. But I bought three things, and I got them for a very good price. So I'm very happy.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm very happy. But I think that there are just so many things that you can do. Coloring is a very therapeutic thing. When people are ill and they're in the hospital, people bring them things to color with, because just that motion is very therapeutic for you. Travel can be therapeutic. Having a getaway, having a staycation. You don't have to go out of town and you don't have to spend a lot of money, but do something for you, and do things that's preventative in nature and not always reactionary. So don't wait until you all stressed. You know stress is coming. Take a break.
Okay, that's good. So next question, what are the most pressing mental health problems experienced by Black people, and how do they differ from other racial groups?
I think the first thing is the intergenerational trauma. And then even beyond that is just trauma.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trauma in the Black community. A lot of violence. Domestic violence is very high. Poverty is very high. Blight, because if I keep up at my house, but then when I walk out, that house is burnt down, that blight itself impacts us in what we see. And so when we talk about other cultures may not experience that. Some do in other cultures because they live in rural areas and it may be very similar. But when you live in a West Bloomfield, and everything, you live on the lake.
Yeah.
You see nothing but pristine and gorgeous and beautiful. Those things help keep your mental together. The how nature impacts your community. So you have flowers. Just to have flowers planted can have a positive impact. And so with Black people, another major area is the access to care. So they may not have insurances. They may not have the funds to go and get help. So once they've determined that I do need help, I need to go, and to say that there's not a lot of people that look like them. So culturally, I don't necessarily want to talk to another culture. They don't understand what I'm going through. They don't, and they may or they may not. But it is very important for you to look across the table and see somebody that looks like you. I remember talking to Mason from Mason in the Morning, and he was talking about as a kid, he was very shy because he was so dark and people were mean to him and things. And he says the thing that made him even want to do broadcasting is seeing Don Cornelius on TV. He says, what? A big, tall Black man? maybe I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have no idea how we impact those around us when we stand up in the spaces that God has provided us so that people can see what it looks like, that it's possible. And so as African Americans, a lot of times we don't have those examples.
Yeah.
Whereas in other cultures, they have lots of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So overall, we just want to reduce the stigma, the negative stigma surrounding mental health in the Black community. After all these just wonderful conversations and topics, what is something that you want everyone who watches this to know regarding what they can do to reduce the stigma?
Well, I think the first thing is to understand that mental health is an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And up under the umbrella is a continuum. You go from being mentally well all the way to mentally ill. And on any given day, something can happen that will push you closer to mental wellness or push you closer to mental illness. And if you know that, and if you're aware of that, you have responsibility to checking in with you daily. So when I wake up, I check in. How am I doing today? And one of the things that I say all the time is that if you have an attitude of gratitude, you can't complain. But if you're complaining, you can't be grateful. So you choose. And so in the mindset of gratitude, it helps to keep your mood elevated. It helps to release the positive hormones that make you feel good. And if you know that you can control that, you can be okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We're going to do a round of applause in the background right now. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And we are all done.